The other thing they're doing is going to buy out the house. I talk about this quite a bit. And the first thing that you need to do if you're considering keeping the home, excuse me, is number one, see if you guys can agree on a value of the home. You don't have to get an appraisal, although you can, but if you don't want to spend the $500 or $600 on an appraisal, maybe you guys just look at the last couple sales in your neighborhood and say, you know what, based on these, I think we could get X for our home, and let's use that value for determining what the value we're going to use for determining the buyout. So let's say there's $300,000 in equity, and so the buyout's going to be $150,000. Step two is you're going to want to start talking with lenders and see if that is something you can pull off. Can you pull out $150,000? Number one. And then number two, part B of that, I guess, would be now that you see what that payment is, along with the first mortgage, assuming you're getting a second mortgage, which would make more sense because you don't, I think your interest rate on your first, you're going to want to leave that alone and have the smaller amount with the higher interest. That's what most of our clients are doing anyways. But then you're going to have to see, okay, now based on that, can you pull that off? Can you make the first and second mortgage payment combined? And then after knowing that, is it really worth it to keep the house at that point? So those two things would need to be figured out, how much the house is worth, and you guys agree upon the value, and then the buyout amount, and will you qualify to do that? Or if not, will you then need to sell and split the proceeds evenly that way? Or will your spouse will give you a little bit more time to maybe make up the difference? For instance, let's say the buyout is $150,000. You can only pull out $125,000 for whatever reason. And there's a $25,000 hole left that you owe. Maybe you can pull that from your 401k and give them $25,000 from there. Maybe you can come up with some type of payment arrangement where you pay maybe $500 or $1,000 a month until that $25,000 is paid off. Again, you guys would have to agree to those different variables, but there are ways, and our clients have come up with some very creative ways of making that work. As far as going as far as keeping the house for 5 years before they even have to refinance to do the buyout, because they're hoping that the interest rates will come down and be more favorable for that point. So lots of options when it comes to that.